Well, good morning, everyone. I hope that you are ready for another great day. I know that I am. This morning we're going to be in Nehemiah, and I just want to kind of jump in real quick because there's a few verses to read to kind of get the understanding. Nehemiah was the one who was in charge of rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. Ezra was sent to rebuild the temple, but Nehemiah was commissioned to make the city safe. And so we are going to start right at the beginning before Nehemiah even knew that was his job. In fact, in Nehemiah chapter number 1, right about verse number 2, it says that Hananiah, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. And they said unto me, the remnant that are left in captivity are in the province are in great affliction and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. He goes on to say, and it came to pass when I heard these words that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven and said, I beseech thee, O Lord God of heaven, the great and terrible God that keepeth the covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments, let thine ear now be attentive and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel, thy servants, and confess, listen to this, the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned. And he goes on and he continues to confess before the Lord just the generational breakdown of the nation of Israel, and actually threw himself into that mix and said, I am complicit. For whatever my part was, I am a part of that particular problem, and I am repenting and confessing before you. Lord, do something. And so what I want to get across to you today, all it takes is one person to say, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to stop shirking responsibility. I'm going to stop turning a blind eye. I'm going to stop thinking that is somebody else's fault and there's nothing I can do about it. Nehemiah didn't actually sin the sins that were the final straw that put Israel into captivity, that had them overthrown in battle and put into captivity. Just like you and I probably didn't sin the sins that have put our nation in this specific spot today. No, ours are going to be where the nation ends up being later, unless we see our responsibility and our role in making the nation strong for the Lord again. Now think about that for a second, that Nehemiah in his day was speaking from as a captive in another nation and seeking the Lord's help for the people that were left behind in Israel, in Judah specifically, in Jerusalem, very, very pinpointed. And so he was actually confessing on their behalf and actually throwing himself in on it and asking the Lord to do something. And by doing so, he probably knew in his heart that if I am so burdened, God, would you send me? Would you give me a place? Would you give me opportunity? Because we'll find out probably tomorrow that Nehemiah was the cupbearer to the king. And so he had risen to authority and power in the nation where he was held captive. And he had the role that could make a difference in his world. And so I want to encourage you today to consider where you could be praying, fasting, and being prepared by God to make a difference. All it takes is one person to notice the need and to make a difference. God can use any one of us. He'd love to use every one of us. There isn't a single person who couldn't be saying, God, would you show me my place in making our nation strong, in making my family strong, for that matter, making the Journey Baptist Church strong, or if you're watching this and you go to another church, your individual place of worship strong for the Lord. See a need and allow yourself to be thrown into the mix as a person that's going to be the one meeting the need. Everybody wants everything to be better. In fact, we can all see the flaws in everything that's going on around us. But not very many people are willing to say, okay, God, use me. Okay, God, I see this need. I'm bringing it before you. I'm asking you to act. You know why we don't? Because we know that if we ask God to act, he'll probably say, here's what I want you to do. And so I want to encourage you today, allow God to use you. See a need and be willing to be used to make a difference. Nehemiah was ready in his day, and it was going to change everything for him. We need to be ready to allow God to change everything for us. And so let that guide you through the day today. I hope you have a great day.